Like 10 minutes of Black Eyed Peas is enough for a lifetime.
Oh, for sure.
I love Fergie though.
Cheers, y'all.
Yeah, I got my little Benjamin over here.
So-
Dude, so last night
Go.
you sent me that video. I don't know if we're jumping right into the thing, but I did want to
Let's do it.
mention that I watched that shit last night. Nobody was here.
Oh, dude.
And I got like 5 minutes into it and I was like, "Oh shit. I mean, I have to see it, got to see it through, my boy."
Yeah, yeah.
And I did. And it was fantastic.
Oh, okay. I thought I was waiting for like the and then go into a story there. Were you
No, there's no
high
story.
when you watched it?
I was wearing my headphones. I had to take my headphones off because the fucking sounds were fucking with me, dude.
It's insane, dude. It's so crazy.
Like when Jamie Lee Curtis first like fucking attacked her or whatever, I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Like I had to take my headphones off. I was like, fuck it, dude. I'm just gonna watch it with from the speakers. Good god.
Yeah, so I pulled you and Bark into a call because I wanted to talk about this movie that's been changing my life since I watched it. So I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, I heard it spoken about on one of the more recent Rogan episodes with Andrew Schultz, because they talk about it for like 3 minutes and then move on into something completely different. And I got like a very brief kind of grasp as to what, like, it was just like one aspect of the movie. And I was like, I don't know what that is, but it sounds awesome. So I went upstairs and I told my wife, I was like, hey, I want to watch a movie with you. Actually, I want to watch this movie, and I watch movies with you. So we're going to watch this movie. It was Everything Everywhere All at Once. She was down and we went and found it on HBO Max and started watching it. I fell asleep about halfway through. She finishes the movie and I wake up at the end and she's got like tears in her eyes and is talking about how like this is so transformative for her. And I'm sitting here like, I missed it. I missed part of the movie.
You fell asleep, dude.
I'm old now.
No, but like that movie, I'm like, I'm not sleeping.
Well, if I could I don't want to sleep. It's like I'll be sitting there and then I got out of bed and stood up so that I would stay awake and was like catching myself because I was falling asleep standing up. But so I went, and then the next day I came home and I was like, I'm watching that movie again and I'm going to watch it all the way through and I'm going to get what there is to get out of this movie. And I finished it the second time and I feel like I've been forever. That was Sunday night. It's Wednesday today. And that movie has not left my mind since.
Okay, so it's still pretty fresh.
Well, yeah, and there's just like so many aspects, and I fell asleep watching it again last night, but there's so many aspects of that movie that you can break down and take something away from. But let's start at the beginning, at just how weird of a movie it is right out of the gate. You're 10 minutes in going, what the fuck is going on right now?
No, I was just going to say, like, even before I knew what it was going to be about or what the premise was, as soon as it started, I was already like, this is shot really well.
Yeah.
Like this is very captivating. Whatever this mind is gonna be or whatever. Like I had no clue what the plot was. I purposely like
I didn't either.
Didn't look up a summary. I was just like, okay, I've heard this title a bunch. Let's check it out.
Right. And then I'm getting into it. I'm watching about 15 minutes in. And I'm just like, I don't understand what's happening here. Cause like when I heard the little bit that I heard, I expected something completely different. And then the first fight scene happens and you're like, oh shit. Oh, okay. All right. Whoa, hold on. Just whipping everybody's ass with a fanny pack.
Yeah.
Dude,
that
so
shit
cool.
was and he like gets the aquarium rocks and puts them in there and swings it around like a oh god, like the David and Goliath kind of thing.
Yep.
Slingshot. Yeah.
Cause I was talking to my wife about it and it was last night while we were falling asleep to it. She was like, I wonder how much this movie like cost to make. She looked it up. $25 million went into that movie, and it shows. Dang. It shows.
Yeah,
everything about it was just so polished and clean, and they took like a kind of convoluted storyline and really made it make sense at the same time. I got lost a couple times and then found my way back, and then I'm sitting here thinking about like, how are they gonna make this like super impactful? Because it seems so weird and like funny. And then like I think it was once they got to like that rock scene, the first scene with the rocks.
Dude, yes. Like, oh my god, where they're like kind of talking to each other and it's just text.
Yeah, and it's helping you. Like, you know, it's like when you go up on a mountain and you actually feel small for the first time in your life, looking down off of like an overview from a big mountain. Same feeling sitting in my bedroom, staring at my TV, just going,
Yeah.
I am
And
tiny.
and it forces you to read the text
Yeah,
between and stuff, so that was another thing. I'm glad I had subtitles on too, because like, obviously, she's speaking, like, Mandarin, and then she'll go into English, and then, like, that scene where you just have to read the subtitles, like, with the rocks and stuff too.
right.
But yeah, dude, very so freaking creative, man.
Well, it's like the movie itself was so loud for most of it, and it's once they hit that scene and it's just like quiet. That
Yeah.
contrast in the middle of a movie just like it makes your head spin, but like it really grasps your attention. So like normally they make
Mhm.
things louder to get your attention. They flipped it on us and make it quiet, and that's what makes you just zoom in real
Yeah.
close. I love that.
Very captivating, dude. I was not bored at all.
Something my wife realized too is that whenever Evelyn, the main character, was speaking outside of like the multiverse or whatever, her broken English was way more broken. But then whenever she's like zoned in and Alpha Wayman is there and they're
Mhm.
in that verse, her English is actually crisper and more like clean and
Oh,
well put
I didn't
together.
notice that.
And that's amazing for like the acting jobs that took place there. Like Alpha Wayman, his English is way different from regular Wayman's English. And
Mhm.
and I just found that to be like a really interesting kind of like it's like whenever you're watching Spider-Man Enter the Spider-Verse and you learn about how like as Miles got better with his spider senses, the frame rates of the movie got
Yeah. Yeah,
faster.
yeah, yeah.
It's very
Yeah.
similar to that, like a little nuancy type of detail that makes you just go, wow.
Yeah, I didn't even notice that, so I'll have to look out for that on my, my next watch through, because 'cause I've only just seen it once, just raw
Right.
last night and everything, but dude, the acting was incredible,
I
like,
know.
the guy that played Wayman, is that her husband?
Yeah, Wayman, yeah, short round.
Like, it didn't even seem oh, yeah, I
That's
forgot,
him.
he yeah, he so, like, he didn't even seem like the same character whenever he was
Mm-mm.
in different modes, and it's like, that's the same guy, and he's wearing the same clothes. But
Yeah,
just the way I'm like, "That's a different person, man. That's wild."
it's so crazy. And like to learn about him, how he was short round in Indiana Jones, didn't really make it super far in Hollywood, left Hollywood, comes back, and then does that movie and gets a bunch of awards. Totally well deserved too.
Yeah,
That's not something
all
that
the,
you
like, best
do.
actor and everything. Yeah, and then
Oh
he
yeah.
can just chill on that, just be like, "That's my, magnum
Well,
opus," or whatever.
he's in another movie, too, that's coming out in March.
Oh, I'm
Well,
excited.
this
I'll have to keep an eye
Like,
out
this
for it.
year?
Do you know what it's called?
Yeah, it's an action movie. I think it's called Love Hurts.
Oh, cool. I'll have to keep an eye out for it then. I don't even know that actor's
Yeah,
name. I gotta look it out or look it up.
I
neither do
don't
I.
either. I just recognized him after I saw Love Everything.
Everywhere all at
Man,
once.
yeah,
Yeah,
that
it's
didn't.
confusing.
For
I,
some reason, I thought this movie was gonna be like an alien
I did too.
invasion or something, or I don't know. I had heard all these, like, different little one-sentence summaries of it, but I didn't
Yeah.
know anything about the plot. Like, if you would've told me the name of the movie or showed me that, like, it didn't I didn't expect, like, a half, like, Kung Fu Matrix type movie, you
Mhm.
know?
Yeah. It was real kung fu, it was comedy, it was action, and you're the last thing you're expecting is just this huge wave of just introspection.
Yeah.
It blew me away about like cuz like I'm sitting there having a good time, laughing, enjoying the action. The fight scenes are insanely well done. And then Rakokuni. Rakokuni.
Yeah,
I love
that got
Rakokuni.
me, dude. That
So
was
funny.
so funny.
So funny. And then about midway through the movie, it just switches gears, but only barely because it still like
Mhm.
keeps the same theme. But once she starts going through, I think one of the first things that was said in the movie that hit me was when she looks at her husband and for the first time had seen like what life would be like if she hadn't married him, and she's like, "I never should have married you. I saw my life and it was beautiful." I was just like,
Yeah.
"Oh."
She's like a kung fu master and a movie star and
And
all
a
that
singer,
shit,
like a
like the
professional
alternate.
singer, and like,
Yeah.
yeah, she has all this money and all this success, and she
She
says
didn't
that to him, which
do the laundromat. Yeah.
all he's done is be sweet and nice, and Wayman's the buddy, and like you can see the heartbreak in his face when she says that, and that was where I
Mhm.
first kind of like grabbed onto the movie, like, oh my god, how is this gonna
And
play out?
yeah, and it was wild too, because at the very beginning, so you know how they have to, like, do something weird to, like, transform or whatever, like eating
Hmm.
the chapstick or
Yeah,
blowing your nose weird or something,
a jump
and at
pack or
first
a
it
jump pad or something like that.
yeah, yeah, and at first when she was like, "You have to look at whatever Deidre,
Yeah,
Jamie Lee Curtis's character, they're like, "You have to say I love you," and I was like, "That seems weird." And then you see the end of the movie, and you're like, "Oh, okay,
I get it.
awesome, that's cool." And then like, she's like teaching her how to hit a vape at the very end. She's like, "I
Yeah.
feel like I'm
I
14
love
again," or
dude, I
something
was
like.
so stoked about
I
that.
was like, "That's
Or
awesome."
there was the fight scene where was it what's her name?
JoJo Siwa.
Yeah, exactly. Jubo Chewbacca.
God, I just
Okay,
had her name.
Joba, whatever her name is, but they're like it's the fight scene where the security has come up the stairs and she takes the guy's pistol and rips it like a bong. Oh, that
Yeah,
was so sick, dude. I was
yeah,
so stoked
dude.
about that. I
Her acting too was insane. Like when
Yeah.
she first came on and she's like, "Wait, that's my daughter," and then they're like, "Nah, that's this like world destroyer
Yeah.
thing that's like
Who has seen
Thanos shit."
every single other universe and every possibility and now is like all powerful and also so not caring about all of it because there's just no point to it all. I
It was Jopu
Tupaki.
There you go.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
thank you. I love
Tupac, I love his music.
Yeah.
Yeah, right? But yeah, the fight scenes alone were enough to watch the movie because they were great. Do you have a favorite one? Did you have a favorite fight scene?
Um, the one that comes to mind is just the initial first one
Yeah.
where like she's about to get like kneed in the face and then she like locks into she figures out that she could do the kung fu thing in an alternate and then she just kind of like slow mo like I don't know
Yeah.
dude it was just some of them kind of blend together too because
Yeah.
again I just watched it once and I was like real on edge the whole time because I was like this is insane
Yeah.
but yeah that first one was probably the first
That's
one
a
that
good
comes to
one.
mind though. Yeah.
Did
I
you have
like
one,
when
Park?
they put the security guard 2 inches in the dirt with just her finger.
Yeah, that was sick, dude.
Which one?
Um,
It's the mall fight when they're fighting on like that grass, like dirt area in the middle of the mall, and
she
the
does the
guard runs
hand
up.
and then like does the hand thing
Oh
and hits
yeah,
him. That was badass.
yeah.
I
Yeah, and
I
then,
was
like, the little pinky,
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
flex
she
thing.
breaks the chairs with her pinkies. That was it had like a freaking
Yeah.
six pack. Oh,
Yeah,
it's
a little
badass.
yeah, that was so funny.
I really liked the one with the shield where she got the shield, the riot shield, and just starts kicking everybody's ass with nothing but a riot shield, and then does
Yeah.
that last flick and it like spins and hits
It's
everybody and
like
comes back
Captain
to her.
America.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, the
I've ne-
boomerang.
I've never seen anybody kick ass with a shield like that before. Like I've seen the Avengers movies and whatever, but like that was even
Right.
more well choreographed. Uh,
Yeah. It
I
was
asked
nuts, dude.
I asked my wife what her favorite one was. And she gave me the best answer. She was like, I like where she starts fighting everybody with kindness.
Yeah.
That was the coolest
Dude,
part of
the
that.
guy with the perfume,
Oh
remember
yeah.
that guy?
He gets sprayed in the face and he's just like
And
happy.
yeah, it
Mo-
does a little flashback and stuff, and, like, uh yeah, dude, and, like, so many good little lines too,
Oh
like, where
yeah.
dude is like, "In another life, I would have loved to do
Dude,
laundry and
laundry and
taxes with
taxes.
you," and I
Oh
was
my
like,
god.
"Oh,
I started
don't go breaking my
crying.
heart."
It
Yeah,
was
dude.
so beautiful. And it's
I
like
cried.
I did
Yeah.
too. There was parts of that movie that hit me in such a way because like my job is a job. Like I don't feel like I'm doing anything, and I've been to the same place for 10 years. So it's like some mornings I can just wake up and be like, what the am I doing? I hate this.
Mhm.
I'm not doing anything to help anybody or serve a purpose or anything like that. It's fucking insurance. I hate it. But
Yeah.
watching that, it made me come away with kind of like, yeah, but there's so much more beauty to that than I'm even giving credit for. Like because of that,
Yeah.
what I'm doing every day, what it's able to do to everybody else around me, what's able to do for my kids and my wife and for our home and
Yeah, it,
it,
like, it was good about, like, recognizing, like, purpose and stuff, and uh, Jo Goku
Jobu
what's her
Chubaki.
face? Yeah, where she was like, "Who cares? It's all gonna go away eventually, nothing matters and stuff," and then she's like, "Well, then, cherish it while it's here," kinda thing, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Good God." So
It
it's insane amount of, like, existential themes, like, at first, when it was first kinda hitting, I was like, "Oh," like I said, I'm hitting the pen a little bit, I'm home alone, I got my headphones on, I'm kinda, like,
heightened.
having a little as I was like, "Is this gonna be, like, existential crisis?" But then at the end, it was like, "Oh, this is, like, existential, like, purpose type
Yeah.
shit." I was like,
Yeah.
"Damn, dude, this is legitimately one of the" I did not expect that to be how my night ended last night.
That's how I felt too. I thought we're just gonna watch a movie, have a good time, and that's it. And then by the end of it, I'm just like,
This
I'm
will now be my entire personality for
it
like a
totally
month.
is.
Yeah.
It totally is. And I'm cool with that because like some of the big parts of that movie for me was Wayman in his moment of being like in the midst of nothing making sense and so much
Yeah.
confusion and having no idea what's going on. The one thing we have to do is be kind. Kindness is like
Yeah.
what's
He's like,
paramount.
even when you don't know what's going on or whatever, I was like, "Golly, man, who wrote this shit? Like, this is
Someone
so good."
brilliant. Someone brilliant. No more Google Eye.
Yeah.
I'm low key tempted to order a pack of Google Eyes to start putting them on stuff in the house just to
I
do that.
funny enough, like after that movie was done, and I was like, I was super tired because I was like, oh, I could pause it and watch the rest tomorrow because it's getting late. But I was like, nah, we'll see it through.
Soldier
Then
on.
yeah, and then afterwards, I was scrolling on Instagram or something, and I saw some post where it had like someone had like they were doing stand up and they did googly eyes, and then one of them accidentally fell on his shoulder. He's like, oh, look at that, and kind of being silly, and I was like, that's so funny,
I
same
love it.
kind of theme.
I'm never gonna look at the googly eyes the same way now, and I think that's
Yeah,
super cool.
same.
Something else that I found really interesting, my wife and I were talking about, is that the whole bagel concept. I didn't understand why she put it all on a bagel. I thought it was like, oh, it's
Yeah.
an everything bagel, so that's funny.
That's the only thing I got, yeah.
Apparently there was a physicist or some sort of scientist, whatever, who did make the rationale that the universe is in fact shaped like a bagel. And so I was like, oh, this has got nuance as shit, man. That's crazy. So let me ask you, because we were talking about it, did you see Joe Poo Tupaki's wanting to like go into the bagel as like kind of like suicide, as in like
Yes,
okay, we
1000%,
thought the same thing
1000%.
too. That's what it
Yeah,
seemed like, and I was
very yeah, she represents, like, nihilism as a whole, and it's just like,
yeah.
"Fuck it, I'm just gonna kill myself," and, everyone should just do that, why not? And, like, that's what I was saying is like, right, it doesn't make any sense. We should logically, she is right, but whenever she's like, "I can't stand you, I can't stand you," it's like, "Yeah, but couldn't see another world without you," like, all that kinda stuff. It's
Yeah,
like, yeah, this stuff doesn't make sense, but so I can't even like, it's just so good, man.
there's so many points to the
I
movie that
can't
hit different parts of me, and it's so
right.
wild. I
Yeah.
I really love the ending scenes where like the mom and the daughter are having these moments of reconvening, and there's that spot where like the daughter's leaving because she's like, you just need to let me go, and the mom says
Mhm.
okay, and then the mom finally catches her in the parking lot. She's like, she basically hits her with like, the phone works both ways. You could have
Yeah.
called me, but
Yeah.
it doesn't matter because I love you and I'm here and I would choose you every time, no matter the
That
universe.
that's what it was.
I
Yeah.
love that. It's such a cool message too. And because I was talking, she
Yeah.
was talking about how she wants to watch it with our daughter too when she's of the
Ooh.
appropriate age, because it
Ooh.
it covers it covers so much more than just
Watch
one
out.
thing or another. It's heavy, it's beautiful, it's brilliant, and
Wholesome, yeah.
at the end of the day, it made me come away wanting to be like, I want to be like Wayman. I want to be just
Yeah.
like Wayman every day. Because there's that part where, I can be a little more lackadaisical and happy-go-lucky, and my wife's a little more structured and a little more organized with things. And so that the whole moment where she's talking about Evelyn in the movie is talking about how she's like talking about how strict she can be, and is like, that's why I was given someone with patience and happiness, and like it's that perfect balance. And because her daughter turned out like just how she is, she got that too from her, that being her husband and her father. And
Yeah.
there's so many moments of just like Wayman coming in, and they're like complimenting him being how sweet he is, and he's so oblivious to all the violence and animosity that's going on around him, and just staying in his lane of continuing to like go to bat for his wife. You can see him in the background always
Yeah.
trying to like put out fires that are getting
Like,
started. And
talk to the auditor and
yeah,
all that kinda stuff. Yeah, and then yeah, dude, and then where they're like, he talked to her, and then it's like, "Hey, she said we're good," and they're like, "What'd you say?" And then there was a part at the very end where they're in the laundromat, and she's already kinda smashed up shit, and then
yeah,
she talks to, Wayman talks to Jamie Lee Curtis and is like, I'm just gonna call her Jamie Lee Curtis.
that's fine. I'm glad you
Uh,
are.
they talk to each other, and then they're like, "Oh, it's fine." They give us another week, and then Jojo Chewbacca is in the background, and she's just kind of like, well, it doesn't matter because it's like 1 in a million chance anyway. Da 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 da. And it's just it's just something about that where it's like, well, who cares? Because it's just a statistical error, and it's like,
Yeah.
well, it still happened.
Exactly, and it's in
The
this
good ending
universe.
still happened.
Right,
Yeah.
right, and I feel like there's so many parts of this movie that I haven't even, like I've missed. I've watched it twice. I know I've missed more things. I wanna watch it again because I guarantee there's little things in the background that are extra like,
Mhm.
go back on your second time through because I did this. I watched half, fell asleep, on and off throughout the end of the movie. The second time around, I kept an eye out for all of the bagel-like references, all the circles. There's so many
Oh,
circles and rings throughout the entire
yeah.
movie. It's so cool to keep an eye out for because even
I didn't. Okay.
the opening scene, a mirror in the shape of a circle with the parents on the inside of the circle. And you're just like, oh shit, dude, this is the bagel. We're in the bagel
Yeah.
right now. Really
I really
cool.
enjoyed how there were like acts, like parts.
Yeah.
Like part one was most of the movie,
Yeah.
and then part two was, I guess maybe leading up to the climax, and then part three was like 5 minutes. But
Right.
like, it was just cool to see that it felt like a Tarantino movie, but
Yep.
like better.
I agree. I agree. Like there's
I'm just gonna say better. Like
sometimes Tarantino movies, like I like them, but then I'm like, am I liking this just
it's a
because I
it's a
want
little
to
too
like this?
artsy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I
It's like,
want to
"No, you
like
don't
this.
understand." Blah, blah, blah. Like this right here, like it felt like Jordan Peele fucking wrote this movie.
Yeah, I can see that.
Um, like it felt like that level of it was like not a horror movie. It was at first.
Yeah, like
Like at
existential
first I
horror.
was yeah. But I knew though, like whenever they were on the elevator, he like covers up the camera and then is like, when you go in here, you have two choices. You can go to the janitor
Red pill,
closet
blue
or you can
pill. Yeah,
exactly. I was like, this is the Matrix. This is
yeah.
literally like but it didn't feel like a Matrix ripoff. It just felt like but it did kind of have some of the same things because like Morbius, I guess, would be Wayman or whatever, but like it felt like a honestly like a better Matrix. I might still be just on the high of like, when you see like a new movie like in the theater, like when you
Yeah.
used to, and you come out and you're like, that was the best thing ever. That was better than anything I've ever seen. Da, da, da. You kind of have that initial kind of thing,
Yeah.
and I don't know. Part of that might be the excitement, but part of it
I
might
don't
be
think so,
legit.
dude. I know I'm really hyped about it, but at the same time, it's like I don't think I've really seen
Yeah.
a movie like it. I've not seen a movie that
Uh
has that
huh.
kind of messaging before. And maybe
Yeah.
maybe it's because they figured out how to speak to the viewer and like it spoke to me directly. And if I
Hmm.
can relate to it, I know other people can relate to it. And I think like as movies have continued to come out over the decades, they've learned new ways to communicate and convey the messaging of the movie. I think this one had an extremely relatable plot. Coming out after quarantine, after COVID, after we were locked in our homes and feel like life might not have as much meaning as we once thought it did, or the inevitability of everything around us possibly coming to an end or shifting
Hmm.
dramatically into one direction. It happened overnight with COVID. We all like everything changed in just a moment. So
Yeah.
I feel like they had a purpose with giving this movie. It really did feel like a passion project. Like they knew
Hmm.
what they were making and they knew what they wanted to do with it and they pulled it off flawlessly. I've never, yeah.
I didn't see who or I don't remember their names or anything, but like the brief little thing that I read was like the directors or the producers or somebody who made it or filmed it or whatever was known for like doing like big like rap music videos or
Huh.
something like that. So I was like,
Interesting.
that's interesting. Yeah, yeah. I was like, okay, like they hadn't really done like movies before. Maybe they have, but at least they weren't like known for anything. So, because
Interesting.
I mean, the shots were nuts, dude. Like,
Cinematography was unbelievable. Yeah.
yeah,
Totally agree
it
with you
was
there.
insane.
The fight
Yeah.
scenes were so well choreographed. The shots were amazing. The color palettes that they used from place to place.
Hmm.
And then when you get to the alpha universe or whatever, and it's all like white and black and monochromatic and everything, it's just contrast after contrast, but it all pieced together in a way that felt fluid.
Yeah. And I loved whenever it kind of showed at the end where it's like all the different universes, stuff's working out. Like she's like, "We're gonna go get your raccoon," and then
Yeah.
the rocks are like, "You can't do that, and we're just rocks." And then she's like, "There's no rules,"
Yeah.
and
And
then
then
she's
I'm
like,
gonna get
"Woo!"
you. And then they fall.
Yeah, yeah.
She turns around
And
and has
they
the
fall
Google
off.
eyes on the rock. I was like, I love this.
Yeah. Like
Rakokuni.
that's when I got like, well, I got emotional a few times, but like
Yeah.
definitely around then I was like, "Dang, dude, this
It
is just really
hits.
well made."
It really
So
hits.
yeah, man, appreciate the the recommendation. Didn't
Yeah.
expect to discover, and it makes me want to do the thing. So I know that you and I at least have this thing where like if it's a new piece of media when it first comes out, everyone might be talking about it, and you're like, "Ah, shut up! I don't want to watch that thing."
Yeah.
You're gonna like, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait 3 years or whatever and watch
Mhm.
that. You
Yeah.
don't say that at the time, but then eventually you're like, "Oh, I remember hearing about that movie." But and this kind of thing makes me think like, "Damn it, dude! Why didn't I see this when it came out?" Like, I'm pretty sure people were talking about it, and I was like, "What kind of title is that?" So I just made an assumption,
Yeah.
you know?
I
Mhm.
feel very similarly to you in that point, but not to reference the movie or anything.
Ooh.
Every decision that you've made, everything that has happened to you leading you up to this point happened so that you could be right here, right now. We found the
Watching,
movie when we
yeah.
found it because it was the time for us to find it. And I think had I tried to watch it before now, I might not have been near as receptive to it and therefore not might not
Yeah,
have gotten as much out of it. That's
it
the
might not have,
radical
like,
acceptance of it all.
cut, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I could have been in a different headspace. I could have been in a place where I was being forced to watch rather than choosing to watch
right.
it. So
Or
I
being like, "Yeah, that movie's cool. I guess it was kinda shot well, but you didn't really pay attention,"
yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
I'm checking my phone throughout and kind of missing the big lines and
Right.
get to the end. Be like, oh, that was silly. That was funny. The guy had the
"Yeah, that was okay. Yeah,
he's trying to
whatever.
stick the
Next."
trophy in his butt so that he could be a better fighter. That's
Oh,
funny. That was
that
wild.
was insane.
That was so
There were
wild.
there were parts of that movie where I was like, "I really wanna show this to my mom," but then there were other parts where I was like, "I do not wanna show this to my
I
mom. There's too
don't
many
know, man.
dildos."
Your mom really enjoys We're the Millers, and that's a pretty
Which
profane
is
movie.
funny.
Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah.
But I think I was feeling the same way. I was like, I want to tell my dad about this, but he'll just be like, "That's not Tombstone," and then it'll just be
Right.
weird. So
My
I
my mom's also, like, biased towards certain actors, so,
yeah.
like, to get her to watch, like, I don't wanna derail too hard, but,
No, go
like, to
ahead. It's
get her
fine.
to, I've been showing her, like, the MCU movies, and I didn't wanna just show her, like, "Here's Endgame," and she's like, what is
Yeah, you
all
gotta
this?
watch the
Aliens, blah, blah," 'cause she's also, like, impartial to, like, Alien, like, she grew up, in the '70s, so, like, Alien to her is, like, horror,
yeah,
alien, blah. So, like,
a great movie.
it's different. So, like, but whenever I was showing her, like, some of the MCU movies, kinda showed her some of the ones out of order, and, like, I think the next one we're finally gonna watch, like, the first Avengers and then start those,
Yeah.
but I've been showing her, like, the background stories, and we'll get to some of them more, but for the Spider-Man one, I was like, "Oh, mom, Michael Keaton's in this.
Ooh.
He plays the, Vulture, bad guy." She's like, "Oh, Michael Keaton, okay, I'm in,
Yeah.
automatically." Like, so I feel like I feel like it's easier to show her a movie if someone she knows is in it. Like,
Mhm.
this might be hard because I don't think she knows the actors,
Right. Well, I
so you
think
can't
she
really be like, "Oh, you like so and
you
so,"
could say Short Round from Indiana Jones. This is him grown up
"Oh,
as an
maybe
adult. And
actually
Jamie Lee Curtis. She knows Jamie Lee Curtis. Everybody knows Jamie Lee Curtis.
actually, yeah, okay, yeah, you're right, good
We're
point.
in. Roll it.
Alright, yeah, we're in, go,
Yeah, oh, and better
begin."
yet, tell her I said she needs to watch it, and I
She'll be like,
guarantee
"Alright, whatever,"
I'm
you know?
gonna what's up? Yeah, dude,
Dragon also said, "You're not cool unless you, pee your pants," and she's like, "I'll pee my pants right fucking now,
peeing
I don't."
your pants is cool, then consider me Miles Davis.
He's like, "Oh, that is so gross."
Well, Bark, I know
"Lady, you're scaring us."
Mark, I know
Sorry.
that you haven't said much on and I know that you said you watched the movie once and didn't really get a whole lot from it. Do you have any opinions on Everything Everywhere All at Once?
I don't know. I thought the sausage fingers were funny.
That was really funny.
That was really
And then
cool.
she starts playing Claire de Lune with her feet. It
Yeah.
was God ridiculous.
That was ridiculous because it was kinda like, "What's the point of this?" And then they said some line where it was like, "Even in a world where you have hot dogs for hands, blah, 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 is still worth something," or what I forget what it was, but
And to
it
see
was really
all of
well.
them like find love and like everything work out in all these different weird, bizarre universes is there's like there's something wholesome to that that really like makes you walk away with this feeling of like I have a new lease on
Yeah,
life to see everything work out in the end for the greater good of all the universes at the same time everywhere all at
yeah,
once. Masterfully done. Masterfully done.
yeah, you could analyze this like a fucking, like, book club level, you know what I mean? Like, you
Yeah,
could analyze this as if it's like a piece of literature.
totally. It
'Cause it's just, like, packed full, man. Like, if I was an English teacher, I would want to. I don't know if I would want to show it, but I'd be like, everyone go home and watch that.
If you're an English
It's not.
professor at a college, you could totally show it, and that would
Yeah.
your
Because
students
people
would
would
think you're the
get,
coolest.
they would get the point. They would be like, "Well, that's weird. I don't get it." Blah, blah, blah." You'd be like, "No, you're missing the point, man. That's not the point, man." You know?
Yeah, you show it to a bunch of high schoolers, they're gonna be laughing at the dildos that are in the movie way more than
Right.
getting anything out of it. I'm sitting
Right.
here at at the age that I am watching the movie, going, all right, I don't care about the wacky dildo fight scenes and the butt plugs or whatever. I want the substance. Help me live my life better,
Yeah.
please. Help
Like,
me.
help me. Yeah.
Yeah, and
And
I
then
got
it, it
that.
it does, man. And like
Mhm.
now, even just today at work, and like the last few weeks, that dude, like I told you yesterday, like I've been so sleep deprived like
Yeah.
throughout the week because I'm still like night owl mode, but I wake up super early,
Mhm.
so I'm running off of like 4 hours of sleep each day,
Right.
which
That's
is not
rough.
healthy. Wouldn't recommend. But like, so I'm sometimes kind of like out of it or kind of quiet or whatever. But I still today like heard that like, be kind or do this, or if
Mhm.
something comes up, like very like decision making JRPG type shit.
Totally. The movie is echoing to me every day. There's moments where I'm like, I can feel the negative thoughts come in and I can feel the intrusive thinking that's going to like derail me, raise my blood pressure, ruin my day, put me in a bad headspace and all these different things. And I just feel like the movie will reverberate when I'm starting to have those things now. And I'm able to kind of
Yeah.
rechannel myself back into like, hey, you know what? We're still going to be kind. Everything's going to be cool. And it's helping me get
Mhm.
past a lot of some of these things that have been bringing me down lately. It's not perfect. It's not a remedy to all of it, but it's like giving me a
Yeah.
new perspective. And with that, it's given me a new motivation to be better and be like Wayman, you know?
Yeah, and that kind of reinforces what you were saying, where you're like, maybe I could have watched it, or maybe you could have watched it when it came out, but now it's like
I needed it.
relatable,
I needed it.
so much so relatable that we're doing this
Making a
right
video
now.
about it. Yeah. So, anybody,
Yeah,
if you have not watched Everything Everywhere All at Once, could not recommend it enough. Going into it with an open mind, make sure that you've like, freshly partaken or whatever. But it's one that'll change
Not
your
in for it.
perspective, shuffle your brain like a bunch of dice in a cup playing Yahtzee. And hopefully it comes out with a Yahtzee because that's what it did for me. I feel very different now in a cool way. Like
Yeah,
I'm still very much
Nazi reference. You just lost half the crowd.
I don't give a damn, dude. I play Yahtzee with my daughter all the time, and I'm the king of it. I got 4 Yahtzees in one game once.
yeah. In this universe, but in
Oh.
the one next door,
Dude, that
you got
one.
got a couple.
I got 0 Yahtzees and got depressed and threw myself down the stairs.
This is a universe. It's like the Family Guy where it's like, what's happening in this universe? Everyone has to poop at the exact same time and doesn't know how, or something like that. Like, oh, okay, I'll see you later.
Everybody pee now.
Now, oh, never mind. I'll save that for after this. This is not.
Oh, dude,
That's
no
not
worries.
relevant to what we're talking about.
Okay, so I'm giving Everything Everywhere All at Once a 10 out of 10. It definitely earned a 10 out of 10 from me. But that's because it's impacted my life so much. I'm sure there's things that other people might not dig about the movie, but for me, the messaging alone put it as one of the best movies I've ever seen in my life. Bark,
Yeah.
what did you think? What did you think as the skeptic of the group?
I mean, I think it was funny.
We got a funny. Show me potato salad.
Do you have a rating?
Yeah, I'd give it like a 9.5 out of 10. I don't think anything's a 10 out of 10. Nothing's perfect.
So as close as it can be for Barkus.
That's
I think
still
that,
good.
that's great. What do you
Yeah.
think? What do you think, Nolan? What do you got?
I was gonna say like 8 or 9, and I was looking to IMDb has it as a 7.8 out of 10.
Trash. Okay, but yeah,
Yeah.
what's the audience score though?
Uh,
That sets
I
things
don't see
differently.
it.
Oh damn it. Okay. Well,
I don't know.
I can't hear a guy.
Gosh, dude, I said that earlier.
It's so funny.
Oh, jeez.
I miss Kyle C's so much.
Yeah, me too.
Um,
Oh God,
So
what
good.
a time.
But yeah, go watch the movie. If you have watched it and you enjoyed it, please let me throw some in the comments. I'd love to talk with you about it. And also let me know if you've enjoyed me, Bark, and Nolan talking about whatever, because we love doing this and we don't do it near enough.
We can make this a regular thing. We
Exactly,
can review
yeah.
more things. You
Yeah.
know?
Let us know if you enjoyed this, and we'll keep it coming. And if if, only if, you guys let us know what's up in the comments. So thanks for watching. Go watch the movie. Let me know what you think. And yeah, Dragon of Bites.